Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolours in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. So today we're going to have a go at painting some sunflowers. Not cooking, although I'm looking at this wonderful picture of a sunflower here on the front of a very old, from the 1990s, 94 I think, Delia Smith Summer Collection of Recipes. This sunflower has always been in my mind whenever I think about sunflowers, and I'm going to take it as a jumping off point for today's video. So here we have our starting point, and I'm just going to put Delia aside for a minute. There's some good recipes in that book, by the way. I'm going to be working on a piece of Lavis Fidelis, that's Archie's watercolour paper, but it's not the one that we are familiar with always. This one, I don't know if you can get it in America. Have a look for it. It's slightly textured on one side and smooth on the other side, and you're supposed to be able to paint equally well on both sides. So I'm going to go for the smooth side today because we're starting off with some pen work. Now, today we're going to do it the other way round. Just recently if you've been watching any of my recent videos, and we could do that with this one, it wouldn't be a problem. We could definitely do that. But just as a change, I'm going to do it the other way around. So I'm going to start off by drawing the sunflowers, and partly that's because sunflowers are such a graphic image. I've got here a sheet of ideas. This is sort of based on ukiyo-e, which is a Japanese style of painting. And this I've generated using artificial intelligence, because my intelligence isn't anywhere near good enough to generate all of these ideas. So we're on a Japan trip today. I'm using my Kuretake Japanese watercolor paints and a Japanese watercolor brush. This is, I don't know, it's all just kind of occurred like this. I don't know why. Draw well, you can get this. The information is in the description below the video. You can buy them direct from Japan. That's the only way to get them. Alternatively, Princeton Aqua Elite is my favourite, easy to get on Amazon brush. Go to my Amazon shop and order it through my link, if you wouldn't mind. That way we get a small, but it all adds up, a kind of, commission on that. So what are we going to do? Yesterday I painted this, which I've posted today as well. This is a sketch which I did based on this idea, and I'm kind of working from that theme, if you know what I mean. So let's think about how we're going to compose this painting. I need a pencil. Any old pencil will do. This pencil. Let's put some flowers on. Let's put some centers. Let's have them arranged in, making sure that we've got one near the middle. We can have some downward turning ones and so on, but if we have just the three main ones, and then this is the centers, and I'm going to put dots around like that, really casually, to indicate where the orbits are of the petals. So we'll do that. And then I'm going to slow down. Diane, slow down. Do not rush. Do not panic. And I'm going to draw the petals. Okay. And I'm going to use my Fudenosuke Tombow brush for this. And we're just going to go round, remembering where I put the dots. It's not crucial. This is not in any way going to matter how you do it. So we put a line around the outside of the center, and we just do these pointed shapes like this. And as I put those dots around there, that stops me from going off at a completely bizarre tangent. And we'll do that. Okay. And it honestly doesn't matter how much your hand shakes. Mine is a little bit. I've probably had too much coffee this morning. But if you look at the original painting that I mentioned, photograph rather, it's got 2 layers or 3 layers even of petals. So you can fill in these gaps with smaller ones if you want. Some of them especially, don't have to do all of them. And then we can put in some lines because they have, all of these petals have got lines. So we can do that. Don't have to do that. You can leave them blank and do the lines later if you want. You could do that too. And then there are dots in the middle. And I'm putting a fair amount of line work in. I'm just experimenting. This is the exact reverse of what we've been doing recently. And I'll just put a little bit of shadow. So I'm basically painting in the lines that give the form. Okay, so then number 2, this one here, we can do some dots in the middle first if we want, and then just kind of indicate that. And then this is fun. Press and release, press and release. And because it's on a bit of a slope, some of them are going to be shorter than others as it goes away. And then coming forward towards you, they're a bit longer, aren't they? But it doesn't matter if you don't get that in place. It doesn't matter because, you know, they're your sunflowers. And we'll see how they turn out. So we just keep doing this, and then we put the second layer in, and vary the shapes, vary how much they project and how much shadow you get in between there like that. And for goodness sake, don't fuss, don't fret. This is not the place for, what do they call it, fussy cutting? There's nothing could be further from, I love to see what people can do, but honestly, nothing could be further from my ability than fussy cutting. I don't know why I'm talking about that. I think I was watching oh, I know, it's Sandy Olnock. She's got a project on at the moment. Some kind of challenge to do with fodder making, and there's a bit of fussy cutting going on there. And we'll just put that around there and do this one too. Okay, 2, and then don't forget the stems. Put a nice curvy stem in there, and we want some lovely big leaves. Can put leaves out to the side like this as well. And up here maybe we'll put some kind of a bud thing, perhaps, with sort of petals coming out like this, and then a stem coming down behind like that, and then another leaf here. Nice lot of background leaves. And over here we had another one here, didn't we? So we'll just start in the centre. Like that. And here's our dots going around like that. It's been raining a bit today, which is a really good thing. I like a bit of rain in the summer, help the vegetables to grow. So we'll bring these down a little bit. I don't think, don't want to go quite as far as that, I don't think. We'll shorten that one a little bit. never rains but it pours, does it? One of my dogs, golden retriever, Lottie, she's 7, and she's just suddenly decided to start to limp. And I'm like, oh no, you haven't started to get arthritis or dysplasia or something, have you? So I don't know. I suppose I should probably take her to the vet. But they won't do anything, they'll just put her on anti-inflammatories, I suppose. So I'm giving her CBD at the moment and see whether that helps. Okay, and then, so let's put another leaf down here. And let's put another flower, smaller one here. I'm doing this real time. It's not speeded up, by the way. I hope you don't think I'm speeding anything up. I obviously try to work as fast as I can because I don't want you to be waiting for the next thing, but I refuse to speed anything up. We're not going to go down that road. It's real time. Everything is real time on here. If I was doing it in my own time, you know, just for me, I would probably work a bit slower. But whew. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to do up here, I'm going to take a stem up here and then have a, what do you call it? A downward facing one. So like that, and then over here, let's put another stem up here, and let's have it going. Hang on a minute. I want to make that go like this. This is going to go in the back here. The idea is that goes in the back of the sunflower, and then that's the back, not the front. So we'll paint that green. And those are the backs of the petals. Okay. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe another one down here. Perhaps going like that one up there, perhaps. And maybe another leaf or two. And then in the background, to represent the wind, I'm going to be really bold and I'm going to put some lines, and then we're going to paint, a background. So let's just run these lines across. You see how that's happening. Maybe like that as well, maybe like that, and then up here. And this is to sort of simulate the way the woodcuts used to work, this thing called ukiyo-e, this kind of woodcut sort of idea. So it's just like that. Now you could either paint the background first or you could paint the flowers first, but I think probably it would be more interesting to paint the flowers first. So we'll start with the flowers. And let's do that. So I've got my Kuretake set here. We've got 3 yellows and lots of greens. So very good colours for such a thing. I'm going to start off with some yellow. I'm using a size 7 brush. And as I go around, I'll just vary the yellows just more or less as it occurs to me, just vary them a bit. They're definitely not keeping inside the lines. And there's a certain amount of yellow on the inside, but that's going to be mostly, I think we'll probably go with brown. And then we probably want some orange to be thrown in there a little bit for the shadow and the lively effect. And what we are not trying to do is paint an accurate portrait of a sunflower. Let's go for some brown. This is brown, I think, so we put a bit of brown in the middle and let that blur. Move that over there a bit. There we are. I think you can probably see the whole thing if I do that. Okay, so what's next? Well, we could pop in some green as we go. Whoops, as we go down. This is sort of like an olive green. I'm not quite sure what they call that one. Yeah, olive green. And this is forest green. And let's go in here with the yellow for the petals. Lots of petals to paint. A bit of green here. And that's going to be green, isn't it? For the bigger ones, I think I might probably benefit from using a bigger brush. So we'll do that. Just adding some orange to give us some shadow. A lot of people talk about painting loosely a lot of the time, and that's what I'm trying to help you to discover. And we will add more colour. And let's put some green in here since I've got it on the brush. And we'll paint the background in afterwards. And we do want to vary the different greens, or vary the leaves, make them all different colour greens. And when we're done with the painting, we might put in some more line work, we might do. And I'm hoping this will blur a bit into the leaves here. There we are. So now we've got a few more leaves to paint. And obviously some of you have a much more precise style, the way you paint, and that's fine. You don't have to, it's just, you know, the idea is to just do whatever, just to have an idea, a starting point, and then you take it and run with it. Okay. Might be quite nice to drop in a little bit of red here and there in the flowers to sort of perk them up a bit, make them not quite so brown. And I think it's possible that one of my background colours might want to be that kind of maroon colour. I think that could work quite well. So maybe we'll start down here. And then I did the trial using Poetique pens. I'm not sure whether this is the right colour to use. I probably, well, maybe I should have done blue. Perhaps I'll do the other half in blue. It's not all going to be maroon. And this brush has a nice point. This my Drawwell ones do too, but this Aqua Elite, until I wear it out, it's got quite a nice point, so you can get in between. You can fussy paint. So I'm painting basically on hot press paper. So we'll get quite a lot of brush marks, but that is what I want. And I haven't taped it down, although I probably should have done, but I didn't. And then, so we're going to do alternate areas. This is going to be a challenge. Suddenly goes quiet. Nice contrast with the green this maroon has. And in fact the yellow too. Phew. And then up here, this one. So now the next colour for the background, probably, I think, is going to be blue. And I think I'm going to make it this blue, which is cobalt blue. But you can pick any colour you like. My theory is do not hesitate. He who hesitates is lost. I'm not sure where that comes from. Probably Shakespeare. I can't decide whether to stand up or sit down. Some people always stand to do their paintings. I like to, but my back and my legs aren't that keen. But I am at the moment standing up. And when I get to the end of this, and I look at it, because I haven't looked at it yet, I'm painting it, but I'm not looking at it. What I'll have to do first of all is let it dry and then decide how I'm going to finish it off. Remember what we say, if you don't like it, it's not finished yet. Okay, so we have this at this stage, and it's interesting, and I'm going to let it dry and come back. Let's darken up some of these leaves a little bit now, and just give a little bit more perspective. That should be blue there. And it's possible that we might want to deepen the blue a bit too. And the idea of the blue and the purple, or what did I call it? Maroon, I think is what it's called, is that it's to describe visually the wind blowing through the sunflowers. And yeah, so we'll give a little bit more variety to the greens. This is a nice dark green. A bit more blue here, perhaps. And we can also really emphasize the yellows. Come in with a second layer, make these really strong. And all of them will be slightly different from each other because what's underneath is different. So what comes up on top is going to be different because it's transparent watercolor. A couple of people have said that they don't find the Kuretake colors to be transparent. Well, they're not if you use more pigment and less water. But if if you use a fair amount of water, you'll get a certain amount of transparency, just the same as you do with any other watercolour paint. And these ones at the side here can sort of just go way out of focus. A bit of orange, perhaps up here. I can make it pick up some orange. I'll make this one down here slightly different. It's always a good idea if all of your sunflowers aren't the same as one another. Okay, and then a bit more green down here. Nice lot of swooshy different shades, and then that gives us some scope in a minute when we come in again with some more ink. So we'll let, oh no, wait a minute, just a second before we go to letting it dry. Some dark brown, burnt umber or something like that, Van Dyke brown for the centres, just because you need some shadow there. I know that they aren't always, well, they vary, don't they, the colours on the inside of the seed head, depending on how ripe they are. Okay, let's let that dry. So this has had an overnight drying period. So now I'm just going to do some last final finishing touches. I've got a Poetique water brush pen here, and with that I'm going to, this is an option. You might or you might not like the areas which have remained unpainted on your flowers. I quite like it to be somewhat interspersed with little areas of white, because that seems to make it a little bit more lively. But you might want to reduce how many there are a little bit. And to be honest, these watercolor brush pens that you can buy in a set, I think they're amazing. I really like them for doing things like this. It's much more convenient, and I think it's even perhaps more effective. You can really regulate the amount of color that you put on top of what you're working on. It's yeah, I haven't used these before ever in my painting life until very recently, when Poetique sent me a set of 96. I don't know why. We'd only literally just started the channel, and they shipped 96 of these brushes, a set, a big set. I think they cost about $40 or something like that if you buy them from Amazon. And anyway, so I didn't really use them very much to start with. I painted some sunflowers, actually. That was the very first thing I tried, and I was amazed how well they came out. And they're not necessarily all that light proof, so that's the only disadvantage of them. I think that's a good green, yeah. That's the only disadvantage, that they're not necessarily all that light proof. But if what you do with your work is to make greetings cards, or you're going to digitize it or whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they don't last forever. And I'm not going to last forever either, so I'm not that worried. So anyway, so you can fill in the gaps like that. There's lots of other little gaps, but I'm going to leave those. I mean, you could, for example, here, if you find that kind of thing annoying, just fill it in. It doesn't even have to be the same colour because you're using different shades all over the place, and that just adds to the whole variegated effect. I think personally, these are very useful. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below, she said, pretending she is Russell Brand. Tell me what you think. Anyway, so that's enough of that. Black, maybe we'll put in a few more emphases in black just to emphasize the shapes. Totally optional. If you don't like the black lines, don't do them. But I recommend you give it a try to find out. And you can give, because I think I'm not actually all that familiar with sunflowers because I've never grown them. I promise, I will try next year. We've got some seeds, just haven't got round to doing anything with them this year. Tried a few years ago and they fell over in the wind, but they ought to grow. They should grow here. They have the right weather. Here I'm going to do some doodles, if you like, and I'm going to put some circles in. To indicate the seeds. Lots of different ways you could do that, more or less. And we'll do the same on some of the others as well, because if you do it on one, you should do it on more than one. And this is a very good example of, you know how I always say, if you don't like it, it's not finished yet. And sometimes you have to leave your painting overnight. Or even longer, you know. There are paintings I've come back to months later, especially when you're doing oil or acrylic. Months later, there's one particular one, a big one I did of a town in France set in the Middle Ages. And I painted the underpainting, and then I think it was probably about 3 years later, I came back and finished it, and it turned into one of my own particular favourites of my own work. And we often have it hanging in the front room above the fireplace. What was I going to say? So anyway, I've only left this overnight. But coming back to it this morning, I kind of could see what I needed to do, which I couldn't see yesterday. And what I needed to do was what I'm showing you now. I needed to put some circles in these centres to represent the seeds and to sort of make them a little bit more rounded. And yeah, that's the thing, really. And maybe strengthen the lines on the stems, because I think what I was going to say was I think they have quite strong stems, don't they? And you could go over the leaves as well if you want. A little bit. I'm not sure whether sunflowers have jagged leaves. They probably do, and I'm not going to try and do that because just maybe a little indication there, just in case they have jagged leaves. Serrated, not serrated, or is it? Is it serrated? Yes. With teeth. Toothed. Do they? I don't know. I've probably done them the wrong shape anyway, but let's call it semi-abstract, and it doesn't matter if it's not accurate, right? Okay, I think I'm going to stop here and give that over to the video situation and let you have a look at it and see what you think. Definitely could emphasize some of these petal shapes with a little bit more dark going in between them like that. Could do that. Lots of things you could do. Not happy with this stem, so I'm try and bring that down there like that. Maybe I can cover over here a little bit, and perhaps that will make it a little bit more organic looking. That's a bit better, isn't it? Yeah, that's better. This one actually doesn't have a stem, and I'm going to just pretend that it's going behind and down here out of sight. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe, turn on notifications and all that jazz. Become a member of Patreon if you'd like to support us. We love to have you over there. We're trying to share all our videos, gradually are going up on there ad-free, so you don't have to go through all that hassle of watching all the ads on YouTube if you don't want to. Once you join one of the higher tiers, I think we've got 3 tiers on Patreon, and the higher one offers that, and that's a nice benefit actually, to be able to watch without the video, without the adverts. And or become a member on YouTube as well. That's also good. And don't forget that both of those give you membership of the special Facebook group for members. And there you can share your work, and I try to comment and basically hang out there a little bit. So you can contact me there. I don't know what you think of the idea of the split background like that. I thought it was quite an interesting idea. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll let you go now, and I'll see you again soon. So, bye everybody. Bye from the sunflowers. Bye from the sunflowers.